Oh, I'm muted. Can you hear me now? Okay, wait. That should be good now. You should hear me now. I was muted this whole time. Okay. Are we good? Can you hear me? Hello, friends? Hello, everyone? Okay, cool. Thank you. I was waiting for that one guy to be like, yeah, I can hear you. Okay, cool. So just a little Saturday thing. Pretty much just bored, but I just wanted to quickly do a live session here. Just kind of give you guys the overall outlook of the market, and then I can answer some questions if you guys have questions, or kind of give you guys the overall perspective here. But just looking at what happened over the past week, let's start off with the weekly outlook, and then we can kind of go forward from there. So looking at Ethereum, we'll start with Ethereum. I mentioned to you guys that Ethereum was in a massive oversold region. Ideally, though, we have to pay attention to these wicks right here. These wicks were the deciding factor on Ethereum around the 2200 range and the 2122. You can see that that level was tested multiple times. The problem that happened with Ethereum, though, is the fact that when we ended up seeing that massive cascade, right? So from around 3200 within I give it like a week, from 3,200 down to around 2,100, it was almost $1,000 drop. A lot of folks got extremely bullish on that zone and mentioned the fact that that was the bottom. We're going to buy here and everything. The problem, though, was when you have a true bottom, or at least somewhat of a strong weekly or monthly support, what we tend to see is a very strong bullish engulfing. And I'll show you guys an example of that later in the live session. But what happened instead on Ethereum is you can see that, yes, we did have a bounce, but we never really saw that volume come into the market. Instead, what happened was 2,700 started being used as resistance. You can see that the bulls failed to hold that, or at least break above that level multiple times. We were consolidating, and when we did see a break, right, when we did see a break formation, the volume just simply wasn't there. You can see that we started seeing rejection candlesticks instead of bullish candlesticks or even breakout candlesticks. What happened next was we fell right back down into support, volume died down, and then we saw the bearish engulfing to let you know that bears have taken back control. And then we headed back into 2,400. Now this was the range that you ideally just wanted to trade. Pretty much short 27, long 24 until it breaks. What happened next, though, this was a very clean setup. It rarely happens as clean as this, but you can see we had very nice retest opportunities on 24.29, right? You can see just how perfect these support levels ended up holding. But what happened here was the exponential moving averages flipped to resistance, and then we started to use that level previous support as new resistance to tell us that Ethereum was ready for that break structure on the daily. When it happened, you can see we saw another bearish engulfing, which brings me to last week's point, all the way down to around the 2151 support. The question, of course, comes is why that level specifically? And I've taught you guys this a lot before, but I'll show you once again. Wicks are very important. A lot of folks, what they do is they'll trade off candlesticks, but we don't trade off candlesticks. We actually trade off wicks. And that's why I always tell you guys, a lot of people over here were mentioning, hey, Pingu, should I go long here? Hey, Pingu, we're oversold. Should I go long here? Yes. Technically speaking, we were in oversold region, but the wick was not respected. You can see that even this wick right here was not respected. 2209, we actually broke structure a lot lower. And that's why I tell you guys, you have to think in the worst case scenario. The worst case scenario when you are trading with support zones is the fact that if you see a wick down here at 2156 and you're up here at 2250, for example, the idea is if it can go lower, it definitely will be another $100 drop towards the wick versus you entering near the previous wick low. So let's say now let's just say we're 2160. In your head, you have the worst case scenario that you're entering somewhere here. You've seen multiple retest opportunities on these wicks here. It is a better risk to reward, and that's exactly what happened. You can see that buyers were eagerly waiting at that zone. We ended up seeing a nice reversal. And now trading on weekend volume, we are trading near the 9 and the 20 EMA. What's most likely going to happen is we're going to see a sideways chop leading into Sunday where we'll probably hit the 20 EMA. But then, of course, is the deciding factor. We have had multiple weeks of red days. This is not just a one-off thing for Ethereum, guys. You have to understand that we've had multiple weeks of red days across the board. There has to be some sort of rally behind Ethereum, at least from a short squeeze perspective. That's what I was mentioning to you guys to be a little bit careful of. We are scalping Ethereum. We are not swinging Ethereum towards the downside. The reason for that is you don't want to necessarily get caught on that trade. And if, of course, the market does end up this week seeing a recovery, then the explosive run we're going to see on Ethereum is the same way we saw the same dump fest in the beginning. It's going to be extremely fast and it's going to be extremely large. And that's why I tell you guys to be a little bit cautious when you are looking for those swing setups. But right now, every single thing right now is depending on this setup right here. The 20 exponential moving average. If we somehow end up breaking above that zone and retesting it as support, that is the confirmation we want. Other than that, if we continue to reject on Ethereum and continue to use it as resistance, then no, we are not in that bullish category. We are not looking for swings. We are not looking for spot positions. We are simply just going to continue looking for the shorts towards downside. The question, of course, always happens is, hey, Pingu, how bad can it really get? Well, it can get really bad, like extremely bad, right? Like, I'm not trying to throw like the bearish concept to you guys, but a lot of people are pretty much like, I don't know what it is with when you have high targets, or of course you're in a bull run. People forget that just as fast as thing has came up, that's quickly as fast it can go down. And the same way happened right here at around 3,200. You can see at 3,200, we were trading in terms of that resistance. When we saw that free fall opportunity in one candlestick, Ethereum ended up hitting from 2,700 down to 2,100, a $600 drop in a 4-hour time frame. Does not matter what type of trader you were, a swing, a scalp, an intraday. If you were on the wrong side of that trade, you were liquidated. It does not matter. Doesn't mean anything. Doesn't matter about leverage. And that's why you have to be very cautious. But the overall outlook on Ethereum as right now is unfortunately still bearish. Unless we can try to break above the exponential moving averages, maybe not even the 4-hour, right? Even on the daily, that's going to be the first step for Ethereum to see any sort of recovery. If we can break above the daily, then yes, Ethereum is in a very nice state. Looking at Ethereum as of right now, though, these exponential moving averages, at least from the 20 on the daily, has not been tested yet. That's what I mean by a squeeze that's going to probably happen this week. The question is, are we going to see another wick first and then the squeeze? Or are we going to see the squeeze tomorrow in Asia hours? That, of course, is the deciding factor. But that will pretty much just give you the 4-hour time frame perspective of where exactly you can possibly look for trades. So looking at Bitcoin now, Bitcoin is actually in a very crucial zone. You can see that around the 52.1 is the same area of the wicks from previous price. So this level is why I'm using it. You can see right here, when we had the initial run up on Bitcoin, we had the huge explosive move. Bitcoin, right, was using this level as resistance. Now, technically speaking, that level should be used as support. The problem is, sure, yes, that level was used as support. The issue with Bitcoin as of right now, though, is the same thing we saw in Ethereum. We did not see that explosive volume come in. Instead, we actually saw another range, and now it looks like we are in that slow bleed opportunity back towards the downside. The issue is, though, the fact that 52.1 has already been tested. If that support level is tested again, the more times the support is tested, the higher chances of it actually breaking. I would be aiming somewhere around here at 47.8. That would be the zone if we end up losing 52. That's what I mentioned to you guys in the past few days as well. It'd be around the 49, 47K. That is my specific target. And the reason for that is it's a very simple trade setup. What I normally do is when I'm looking at Bitcoin or Ethereum or any sort of trade opportunity, when I'm in the state like this, where I have seen from previous price that, hey, okay, look, this level for some reason was important, right? We saw multiple rejection candlesticks on this level, but now that level has been tested. So what's the next level below that? Well, the next level below that would have been the 47.8. You can see that level was respected, right? Multiple retest opportunities. And in order for you to know what a confirmation is, so how do you know, Pingu, that that level is going to hold? Well, simply that level would have been used as resistance, and that level should have been used as support on the breakout, right? So when you have an initial trade, you have a retest as resistance followed by a retest on support, then the confirmation of the bullish engulfing, and that's to let you know that yes, this level has been respected. We are going to continue pushing higher, and you can see that's exactly what happened. Same sort of situation here, but it just gives you an idea of what exactly Bitcoin was doing from previous. But now looking at Bitcoin, this does not look good, right? I mentioned to you guys just a few days ago, or rather 2 weeks ago as well, that Bitcoin is not in a good state. Even when we were trading around the 49, 50K, or sorry, 59, 58K, a lot of people were extremely bullish. And the problem with that is, again, if you are not seeing the volume on the daily or the 4 hour, there's no reason to be bullish. A lot of people, what they do is they'll trade on the 15 minute, they'll trade on the 30 minute, right? The 45 minute, or even the hourly. And they'll say, hey, oh my God, the hourly looks so good. It looks so bullish. The problem with that mindset is, yes, you are looking at short-term time frames. You're going to be trading short-term minded as well. And the issue is, when you don't zoom out, when you don't look at the 4 hour, you don't look at the daily, it won't let you at least understand the bigger picture. The bigger picture is the fact that we are in a downtrend. That is it. That's simply as to put it, we are in a downtrend. We are not in an uptrend market. So when you are trading, you are only looking for short-term setups in terms of scalps, right? You're only looking for shorts. Why? Because the market is in a downtrend. When the market is in an uptrend, we are looking for longs. Any opportunity for a long we get, we will enter that long position. We will never short. And that's, I think, the hardest part for a lot of traders to do, is they'll end up counter trading themselves, right? So what they'll do is they'll start looking for swing setups. They end up getting caught out, and then they end up seeing a massive bleed formation. That's what you have to be careful about, guys. Like when you are trading in a downtrend, you are only looking for scalping opportunities. Now, the question, of course, comes is on the 20 exponential moving average. Well, Pingu, if the 20 is going to be hit, why are we not looking for longs? Well, you definitely could look for longs in between the exponential moving averages, right? So in a retest opportunity, but there's two ways of trading like this. The first way is, of course, entering on the level, right? So right when the level ends, you enter a short. The second way is trading into that level. Now, me personally, when we are in a downtrend market, I would personally be looking for trades into, or sorry, not into, once the level is hit. That's me personally, because the confirmation is a lot stronger. You can see it's a lot more risk to reward in terms of risk. It's a lot lower, right? So right here, you can see level ended up hitting, right? Retesting as resistance, hitting, retesting as resistance, hitting. I'll zoom in for you guys so you can see. But you can just see how many times that level was hit as resistance. All we do is wait for the level to hit, enter a short, wait for the level to hit, enter a short, wait for the level to hit, enter the short. It's a lot less riskier than, of course, looking for a long position into the 20 exponential moving average. I'm not saying that it's not profitable. You guys have seen it is very profitable to trade into the exponential moving averages, but given in a Monday to Friday weekly scenario, not in a situation, of course, when you are trading on weekend volume, because with weekend volume, things get a lot more choppy. But just want to give you a perspective of how I trade, at least on the 4 hour time frames, so you guys can understand how to do it as well. Pretty much weekends, I just don't bother touching it. If I am looking for a scalping position, I kid you not, Ethereum moves $5, that's my scalp position right there. I'm not trying to hold these trades. I'm not trying to really try to trade against the market, because trust me, when things get ugly, it's going to get extremely ugly, extremely fast. And you don't necessarily want to get caught out on those trades overall. But the question, of course, I also get right now, at least for the past few weeks, is, okay, Pingu, what about Doge? What about Shiba? What about XRP? What about Solana? Guys, the problem with these altcoins is the fact that if Bitcoin and Ethereum are bearish, all of these coins are bearish. I mentioned to you guys in the last Doge update, and I know I haven't made a Doge update. I apologize. I have been making Ethereum updates, so I have kept my promise. But with Doge, I will make a video possibly tonight. But just looking at Doge overall, I told you guys this, that 0.088 is going to be the first test opportunity. Doge right now is in the same state, for those of you that have been paying attention to the live session, it is in the same state as Ethereum and Bitcoin were from a consolidation standpoint. We are in the same range on Doge. And the problem is, with Bitcoin and Ethereum so weak, Doge isn't something that's magically going to start running by on its own. Of course, with Twitter and X and whatever you want to call it, there are times where you see Elon talk about Doge where it causes a nice run up. But the issue is, during a downtrend market, that run up is literally in the next 4 hour time frame rejected towards the downside. That's what you have to be very cautious about. But looking at Doge as of right now, you can see that 0.088, as long as the bulls can hold above that level, then yes, we are bullish in the long term. If the bulls lose 0.088, ladies and gentlemen, that is officially the bear market for a Doge. That is officially going to be a very long, slow bleed opportunity. And the reason for that, guys, is because you can see that back in last year, last 2 years, whatever you want to say, Doge has been in this massive consolidation zone, right? But if you pay attention to the level that was being used as resistance the most, it was 0.088. Just look at how many times previously this level, even from a consolidation zone or even from a resistance standpoint, it was being rejected over and over and over. And when we broke out, you can see when that target, you guys remember this trade, this was on Shiba and Doge. We ended up seeing possibly the largest profit across the board from every single trade that I've ever taken was on this trade right here, was because of the fact that we saw the initial breakout and we had a massive run. But you guys see the issue. 0.088 is now still a crucial zone, and Doge has used that level over and over and over as resistance. And right now we are entering right back into that category. And that's why I keep telling you guys, please be cautious when you are looking for altcoin setups, mostly from a leverage standpoint. You don't necessarily want to get caught out on these trades. But yeah, it's pretty much so. Yeah, so there's Stefan, there's Doge for you. Is LTC a good buy long term? Yes, Litecoin is probably one of my favorite slow moving coins. I love it. Long term, it does extremely well in terms of a bull market. It's one of those coins where you're safe, right? So a lot of people say, oh, I want to be safe in crypto. I want to buy something that's safe and doesn't move much. Then yes, Litecoin would be your best bet. But yeah, so that just gives you an idea on that standpoint. But yeah, just kind of give you guys a little, a little update. But yeah, right now, Bitcoin and Ethereum not in a good state in terms of a swing position for a long setup. There will be a time when it will be in a good state, and I'll let you guys know. But right now, it's just not that time, right? We're just not in that zone for you guys to be looking for those trade setups. But we continue to look for short scalps overall in the market. But yeah, any other questions? I mean, again, like this was just like a quick little live session. I know it's been like 18 minutes of me just talking, but I just want to give you guys a little setup. But do you guys have any questions? This is probably the best time to ask your questions when there's only so many of you in here. And it's just like, it's a lot easier to ask like one-on-one here, and I can answer anything. It doesn't matter. Don't be scared to ask a question. It can be anything, and just ask me a question. And like, of course, I'll try to answer the best of my abilities, but like this way everyone can learn as well, right? Yeah, I want to buy 500 Litecoins because I know it's safe and eventually it's a 2x. Exactly, yeah. That's a good idea. Like I said, Litecoin is probably one of my favorite things. From all my bull markets, I've always liked Litecoin from a long-term perspective. It's just nice to have, so it's not a bad idea. But do you guys have any technical questions, you guys, or does everything make sense? There's a few of you in here. Like, did everything make sense what I explained, or is there something that didn't make sense that you guys want me to go over again? All good? Everyone good? I'm assuming everyone's good then. I will make an update on Doge tonight, because I know I'll explain that to you guys later, like why with Doge and stuff. But yeah, everyone else good? How do you set your stop loss when the 20 EMA hit and you enter a short? Okay, that's a great question. That's actually a good one. So, okay, so that's a little interesting, but what you want to do in terms of stop losses, right? This depends on your kind of account or what your leverage is or anything like that. Like, it's a lot more in depth than it needs to be, but let me just give you a quick little surface level of the trade. So if I was entering a short on the 20 exponential moving average, okay? So let's say right there is my short, or actually, you know what? Let me explain like this. So here is a short. That's where you entered. That level, looking at it on the 20 EMA, exactly on the 20 EMA is 20, let's just say 2,400. The trade went up to 2,408. So right there. My stop loss would have been somewhere up here, above the previous resistance. And the reason for that is I don't want to get wicked out, right? A wick like this would be a stop loss wick. It'd be wick and then towards the downside. You know how many times I hear the question like, oh, Pingu, I put a stop loss and a hit and then the trade played out. The issue is you need to kind of understand where exactly you're placing your stop. So if there's a previous resistance above that trade, I wouldn't put it exactly on that previous resistance, because sometimes you will see that the market ends up breaking above the 20, hitting the resistance and then coming back down. I would place the stop loss a little bit higher. So maybe around there. Yeah, so around 24.30, 24.39. So just give or take. Depends on what kind of leverage you're using, of course, but somewhere around there. That would be my stop loss area, right? That'll give me, and again, this is about patience, right? So if, for example, you enter the trade, let's say you get a little greedy and now you're like, oh, well, it's going to hit. So I'm going to enter a trade here at 23.84. This is what I mean by patience in the market. From here, so this is a good example. Let me place a few lines here for you guys. Okay, so here you go. So from here at 23.84, right? Let's say the trade, for example, at 23.84, you enter the trade, and let's just say it did end up hitting your stop loss at 24.38. That is a huge difference in stop loss. Do you see what I'm saying? Like that's a huge, massive area for you get stopped out and a lot of money versus you entering at around 2,400. It's a lot smaller of a zone. And that's where the patience really comes in, mostly from an exponential moving average standpoint. If you see the EMA has been hit, and of course the candlestick has closed below, right? So you can see candlestick closed below. Then you can pretty much be a little bit more in terms of stops and whatnot. You can enter pretty aggressively and just kind of watch it. If you're someone, and the rule, of course, I'm assuming the rule here is the fact that you're not staying up watching it all night, or you're not leaving a position before you go to bed. Those are the two rules. You're not supposed to enter a trade before bed. Never, never, never. Because what you will notice is, if, of course, the market ends up, hitting near your stop loss, or, of course, hitting your stop loss, and you wake up in the trade, you're like, oh my God, I made so much money, I shorted. But then you look and it hit your stop loss. The reason why is because when you're about to sleep, you're going to be a lot more in a panic state, right? You're going to be like, well, I don't want my stop to hit, so I might place it a little higher completely because I can't watch it. Then you wake up and it ends up hitting that high point, and then you're like, man, I lost so much money, whatever. That's just my personal opinion. I would never tell you guys to open trades before bed. But just in general, though, looking at the current market condition, I would place my stop up here around 24.39 above the previous resistance. I would wait for the entry exactly on the 28 EMA. I'm not waiting down here, right? I'm not entering prematurely. I'm going to be waiting at the high point, hit that level, and then, of course, enter the trade. And you can see that trade setup would have played perfectly. Now, same thing, right? Now, I'll give you a quick little example. In terms of a long position, right? So let's say you're hitting a long into the 9 or into the 20, your take profit is just the same way. You have to be very aggressive. You have to, as soon as it hits that level, you are closing the trade. There's two trade setups here. I've always explained this. Let me explain this one more time. The two trade setups here, of course, the first one is you are trading into the 9 exponential moving average. That's your first trade setup. As soon as it hits the 9, you are locking in those profits. It does not matter if it breaks, does not matter if it continues. That is your trade. Discipline yourself. You are out at the 9. If, of course, the market ends up hitting the 9, breaking above, retesting as support, that's your second trade setup. If you want, it's a little riskier into the 20 EMA. Now, assuming those two trades played out perfectly, the third trade setup is once the market structure is above both of them, retesting as support. That is your swing trade. So this is the big boy, right? That's what you want, is once that level ends up hitting, that's where you enter that trade setup and you try riding that towards profit. So that just gives you an idea of 3 trade setups for you guys. Just from a long perspective. Same thing from a short perspective, just vice versa, flip over the rules. But that's just how I trade and that's just how it works. But yeah, I hope that makes sense for you. Adam, did that answer your question? I hope it did. Yeah, so you're buying spots, so you're good. Exactly. Yeah. Look, in terms of leverage is really nice when you know what you're doing. You can make a lot of money, right? A lot of money. But of course, it's a double-edged sword. And the biggest problem with leverage is, of course, the mindset, the psychological part, and of course the emotional part, right? So like it really gets to you. That's why I always tell people, like, you are welcome to literally just wait. Like, I have people in the Telegram that have an account they've deposited and they don't trade unless I tell them, like, okay, this is the trade setup. They will enter that exact same trade. Otherwise, they're not trading themselves, right? And you can do that as well, and that's fine. That's totally okay. But like that, I always tell you guys, like, you're going to learn a lot about yourself when you're trading on your own. Not with Pingu, right? Not with me, because you guys have seen I can disappear for a few months on end and then come back, right? But when you're trading alone, it'll give you the answers you're kind of looking for, at least as a trader standpoint. You'll understand, hey, okay, I'm opening too much leverage, or hey, I'm being too emotional, or hey, I'm closing trades too fast. I'm not going to guess you're that kind of person. For those of you who remember the one-on-one sessions and stuff, like when I did the one-on-one sessions, I feel like the trend overall was mostly on a psychological standpoint. a lot of people were struggling with the fact of over trading, emotional trading, and of course stop losses and take profits. And that's just the basics of trading in general. And it really comes down to you guys at the end of the day to kind of figure out what kind of trader you are. The ones that are more successful long term are the ones that can identify that earlier on, and the ones that of course struggle with it or even have an ego issue, those are the ones that you see end up blowing accounts over and over and over and over. And that's really what it comes down to. You really just need to understand that, hey, long-term perspective, if you really want to be a good trader, you really just need to understand what kind of trader you are. Once you understand the kind of person you are, if you're an emotional person, if you're like overthinker or whatever, then you can work on that with your trade setups. And it will definitely make you a lot better of a trader. So that's why I always tell you guys, like, just focus on yourself. Don't focus on what everyone else is doing. Just because, your favorite YouTuber or whatever is telling you, okay, guys, I'm bullish, you be bullish. No, like, I really, really struggled with that for a long time when I was first learning. I had a really, really bad point where I would simply just open a trade and then I would go watch 50 YouTube videos in a row and try to make the bias like, yes, I'm right, everyone else is an idiot. These guys are right, everyone's long, I'm right. I ended up losing a lot of money like that. The idea is you enter a trade, you have to be confident in the trade while you're entering and ignore the noise. Trust me, once you get better at that, you'll be a lot better. And that's why I try to make my channel as clean as possible, right? When I'm giving you guys a trade setups or explaining to you guys why we're entering, because I want you guys to identify these trades on your own, right? Like times where I'm not available, and a lot of you guys do, which I'm really happy about. But just so, my chart, you can see, when people look at my chart, they're like, dude, how are you trading like this? You have nothing. And that's the whole point. I have nothing, but you can see the hit rate on Telegram is extremely high. And the reason for that is because we don't need much to trade. We have our indicator, we have our support resistance, we know what we're doing. Everything else is just noise, right? Trust me, the indicators, you don't need a lot of indicators on your charts. You really, really don't. You just want to stick with the basics. What you have is what you need. And then again, long term, you can start decreasing indicators, right? Like again, the 9 and 20 is perfect. But let's say you don't want to use the RSI anymore. You want to add something else, like a volume indicator, whatever. You can play around with your own charts when you guys want. This is just stuff that works for me. That's why I teach you guys this way. Personally, when I'm teaching you, I like teaching you guys like this because I know as a beginner, I struggle with a lot. So everything I cover in these live sessions or in the videos or in Telegram, I always explain to as much detail as I can because I know someone in that Telegram is probably not even thinking about it, but they're doing those bad habits. So that's why I make points of it as I make the trade setup. So you can catch those right away and be like, no, that I can't do this because of this X, Y, Z. You guys get what I'm saying? But yeah, I lost 58K in 4 months. I'm doing down to my last 4K trying to recover. Adam, how did you lose 58K? Like, how did you lose 58K? Was it leverage trading or was it like just something else? I'm in spot longs, but still holding bags from last cycle, hoping to recover this cycle. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I hope, like, I'm going to be honest, like, most bags don't recover from last cycles. Mostly, like, it's just how it is. Like, you might get an exit pump in the euphoria market. Euphoria market means, like, everyone's banking, making money. Like, you might get a few last exit pumps on those specific coins, but most times those coins just never come back. I learned the hard way. I remember 2016, my bags, I was hoping 2020 bull market, they come back. They did not. Then 2020 bags, I remember seeing now in 2024, and I look at them and they do not come back. So, got to be very, very careful with what you're entering long term. Leverage, Adam. Yeah, okay, Adam. Like, Adam, can you explain like how long has it been? Like, you lost 58K. Like, from what point to what point did you lose that money? Like, is it like recent or like is it one of those like, just lost it over like the past year or whatever? Some alts are down 90%. It's totally real. I feel like Adam's, and that's the thing. Altcoins, when Bitcoin and Ethereum drop, altcoins get decimated. It is the reality of the situation. That's why, like, I always tell you guys, look, take profits, take your profits, because when the market ends up going sideways, it gets pretty disgusting, right? And it goes across the board, right? Like, you guys see in my meme coins, like in general, we remember the meme coin days, right? I have them somewhere down here, like. When we were banking hard, right? We were making so much money. And then now you can see the same meme coins are getting decimated. And now people are like, damn, like dog with hat. Like you can see is $1.47. This thing used to be, what, $5 at the euphoria stage. Whether it comes back or not, it will obviously long term, sure. But like that's what I'm saying. Like you always gotta take your profits as you go. Any guesses on how long this consolidation phase will last? Maybe you'll run at the end of the year, or will it be another 4 years? Luke. So okay, my personal opinion. Again, this is my personal opinion. Okay, keyword personal. Is this market downtrend we're seeing is because of the US elections coming up. And the fact that we're in September, October, November, like what most likely is going to happen is there's going to be a lot of volatility. But the next, after whoever wins the presidential election, what's going to come after that is going to be the golden bull run. And that will probably end up lasting until around, I want to say August. I'll give it, say, August to play it safe, right? From January to August is where you are going to make the most money, assuming the fact that it follows the previous cycle of 2021. But that is where you're probably going to make the most money. You're probably going to see the most money you've ever had in your life if you play your cards right, yada, yada, yada. That's my personal opinion. I think right now what's happening is simply just the fact that elections are coming up. A lot of people are panic closing their positions. And I can tell from the S&P, right? The S&P, yes, is kind of in that same state, right? We're seeing a massive sell-off on the S&P. We've seen massive sell-offs happen before, but these are very sharp declines in a matter of few days. You can see from the 1st of July down to August 5th, that's about 4 days of a massive sell-off for the S&P, which is supposed to be very stable, right? So that's why I feel like because of that, because of the US elections, and of course crypto is highly volatile, a lot of people are in the panic state. That's why you're seeing so much sell orders, so much sell pressure coming in the market. But I'm sure once the US elections are over and things calm down, we should ideally see a proper run for Bitcoin and Ethereum. People always say, oh, we're in a bull run market. Yes, we are in a quote-unquote bull run. But for me to be in a full-out state of, okay, euphoria, we have to break all-time high. We have not broken all-time high. We got, I think we got close to all-time high. But that doesn't really count. Like $500 higher is not all-time high. I need a proper all-time high, like a huge run-up, right? That's where euphoria will come in the market. Otherwise, you're pretty much in the same state of sideways action. But yeah, I hope that answers your question. I found crypto in March, nothing but down since then. Yeah, it's a bad time to find crypto, mostly in March. But again, there's never a wrong point of getting into crypto. I have a lot of in real life friends that have always asked me the same questions. It's funny because 2016, everyone I would talk to, I would tell them hey, just buy a little bit of crypto. They thought I was crazy. Oh, rat poison, screw crypto. It's a scam. It's a hack. You're dumb, whatever. 2021 came along. All those people are oh my God, yo, how do I buy that crypto stuff? Whatever. They're buying in euphoria market. Bear market comes and then no one wants to buy that shit, right? No one. And then same people are messaging hey, Bitcoin's back at around 11,000, 12,000. It's a good buying opportunity. No, that shit's dead, not gonna buy. Bitcoin breaks 50, and then all of a sudden the same messages come back. Hey, how do I buy that crypto stuff? That's the reality of most people. The idea behind it, of course, is market psychology, whatever, yada yada yada. People buy high, sell low, panic, whatever. But for us, for people that have been in this market for a very long time, we see these cycles a lot, and it gives us a good idea of trends and what to expect in the long term. I don't think we're at that point where we have euphoria. We haven't had that kind of market structure yet where I'm saying everyone and their nan is talking about Bitcoin and Bitcoin crypto and yada, yada, yada. We're not there yet. We were never there, I don't think. If you look at Google Trends, we were never even close to the previous bull runs. And that's what I'm saying. I don't think that'll happen unless Bitcoin breaks 100. Then things are going to become extremely wild. And that's where I think a lot of people are kind of just chilling. So to answer your question, I do think we're going to expect more volatility, but I don't think the light is gone yet. I think we still have a lot of room to kind of go from there. You know what I mean? But yeah, that's just to give you guys a little perspective overall. But yeah, just anyways, Anna, I hope you recover. I really do. My suggestion to you, I'm not sure if you're still in here, but if you've lost that much money, is probably take a break, my friend. It wouldn't be a bad idea to take a break and then come back with a different mindset. Mostly reading from your message, you look like you're revenge trading. And unfortunately, I feel that I don't want you in that state where you revenge trade yourself to zero. So if you have 4K you know, maybe step back away from leverage and just kind of focus more on spot positions or just trying to build your little net worth back up. Clearly something you did was wrong from your leverage standpoint. I'm not sure what it is. If you were over trading, if you were higher leverage, if you were gambling, again, it's something to do with that, because it's not like you entered 40 bad trades, right? There's no way. Like it's probably like 2 or 3 big ones that happened, and then it continued to smaller little ones that kind of put you in your state. But my suggestion to you, of course, is maybe take a break, come back, look at your spot positions, and then kind of go from there. And right now, realistically, isn't a time to be really like leverage wise. It's a great time. It's a great time to leverage trade, but for your situation, it's not a great time, right? Because the problem with you right now is going to be every time you take a small loss or a loss, you're going to get really emotional about it and be like, screw it, I can't do this. I'm not going to make this money, whatever. And then you're going to end up losing more. Yeah, exactly. See, there it is. Yeah. So you lost 22,000 in one trade. So it always comes down to one big loss. I've noticed with most people that really sets them far back. And then they try to make that big loss back. And then they end up digging an even further rabbit hole towards the downside. So yeah, take a break at them. And then of course, like the channel is free, right? So you're welcome to be here. I know people that have been in this channel for like 2 years. I think it's been 2 years now, guys. Yeah, they're at the 2-year mark for Pingu charts. So I know a lot of people that made a lot of money off of me, and a lot of people that, you know, of course, learned a lot from me as well. And the channel will always stay free. It's always going to stay open. But you will learn. I'm not saying you won't learn, Adam. You will definitely learn a lot in this channel. It's just you need to really decide what kind of issue you had and why you lost at 22K. And then once you analyze that, then you can use whatever I teach and then kind of build together, right? So that's just usually how it goes. That's my personal opinion. Me, you guys know me, I found a balance. Well, when the channel first started, you guys, to put it in perspective, guys, I think on YouTube, what do we, I can check real quick. Hold on. Let me see. So on YouTube, as of right now, for Pingu charts, in total, we have done, I think, 2,600 videos, which is a lot. If you put it into perspective, that's, for my videos, that's about 3 minutes per video. So let me see how much of my life I wasted, right? So 2,600 times 3, 1,700. So divided by 60 per hour, so 130 hours. Yeah, a lot of my time is gone. But let's just say that it's a lot. So, but the point of every single video, every single, at one point you guys saw I was religiously taking the channel, doing my best, lives every week, one-on-one sessions, trade updates, trade signals, whatever you want to call it. I was doing that a lot. And the issue was, I've started noticing was people were depending on me. And what I mean by that, not in a good way, is because if I went MIA for 2 hours, I would get 7 messages of people saying, hey, what's the next trade? Hey, what's the next trade? People were not learning on their own. They were just kind of depending on me to enter a trade and then everyone make money. And it was great money, sure. Everyone made a lot of money, but I get that. But that's why I stepped back for a few months to just focus on whatever, because I knew that once I stepped back, you guys were kind of left on your own. And then that's where you truly learn on your own as well. So that's the idea behind it. I am going to start getting back into it now. I am going to, you guys see, I'm doing my live sessions again. I'm doing the videos again or whatever. I'm going to do my best to keep up with it. And just kind of continue from there. The only new update that I really had from this channel is JumpX, which is Fair Desk Exchange. It's like their sister exchange. So it's just, the guy who runs Fair Desk has pretty much just said, hey, for your users, we're going with JumpX, and these are the benefits with it, whatever. That's the only change that's really come to the channel. Otherwise, everything's the same. I'm not making a course. I'm not making whatever. And what's funny is I've actually thought about this. I'm not gonna do it, but I have thought about this. And so again, let me finish what I'm trying to say. But basically, what a lot of YouTubers do, and oh no, okay, let me go on a random chart. Here we go. So what a lot of YouTubers, you'll notice this a lot, and I'm not bashing any YouTuber, you know what, good for them, make whatever you want. But the issue is, this is how YouTubers work in terms of crypto. You will notice this across the board for a lot of your favorite YouTubers, but what they'll do is they have a FOMO, they have almost a FOMO business model. And what that means is they'll have a Telegram or Discord channel, right? And what they will do is they'll have a free channel, and then they'll have a paid channel. But what they do is like for the free channel, this is where most beginners are, most people that are trying to learn, they will almost like sprinkle little bits of like, you know, hype towards them. And what that means is what they'll do is they'll throw, oh, the VIP channel just made $5,000 on this trade setup. You know, if you haven't joined the VIP program, it's only $20 a month, right? Only a Subway sandwich or whatever. The issue is, then it gets even more complicated, right? Then you have your bronze package, your platinum package, your diamond package, and you guys, I'm sure you guys are starting to see where this is going. The problem with this setup is all of these guys in the free channel, the beginners, right? These guys are neglected. They're just trying to learn, but they don't have money for the monthly subscriptions or whatever. And what happens is a lot of these YouTubers, because they have thousands of students, right? Now you multiply that by $20 a month, they're making $20K a month. What they're doing with this $20K is then they'll start looking for smaller trades, so smaller meme coins or whatever. And, you know, they'll do like, oh, a $5,000 to $50,000 challenge. And what they'll do is, because of their size and how many people are in their Telegram and YouTube channels, they'll start pumping out meme coins or, you know, low leverage, low cap coins. And because they're entering, thousands of other people are entering, it causes the price to go up, of course, and then they sell. And what they will do is when they sell, they'll take those profits and again, sprinkle it back to the beginners. And it'll almost create a FOMO type of business model where these kids right here will feel like, if I don't join this VIP channel, I'm never going to make money. The people that are already in the VIP channel, right, the people that are already making money, they are pretty much just in terms of dog eat dog world. And what I mean by that is these guys are pretty much trying to make as much money as they can to utilize the most of their membership. But in the reality of things, who's the one really winning? It's the YouTuber that's pretty much, you know, he can be ass. He can be the shittiest trader ever, but it doesn't matter because you have thousands of students paying for your quote unquote courses or programs. Why does it matter if you're a good trader or a bad trader? Do you guys see what I'm saying? I'm sure this can be applied across the board. Every time I come across a YouTuber in my DMs or a TikTok guy in my DMs and say, hey, we should do something, I always go to their channel and I literally always see VIP package, $50 a month, join. And then I go look in the channel and it's like, you know, just like a bunch of them, like just, anyways, instead of the rant, the way my channel is built, guys, is it's very simple. I make shit all from you guys. You guys have seen, I make shit all from you guys. I never ask you guys for money. I never care for the money. I can go to a VIP channel route. There's 1,500 of you. I could make so much money out of it, right? And the good thing is, I'm a very good trader. I know I am. But the problem with that mindset is when you have, again, we're kind of small right now. Okay, to an extent, we are still small, right? But when you have, you know, a channel like 50,000, 100,000 people, the issue what comes with that channel is you can't give everyone that same amount of attention. That's why, like my channel, the way I want to build it, is I always want it to be free and it will always remain free. I don't want to make a VIP program or a course or, you know, a VIP signal chat or a whale chat. I don't care about that stuff. What I care about is literally that one person that depends on my trade so that they can pay their bills. And trust me guys, if I've shown you the messages and the amount of people that do depend on these trades to pay their bills for their life to life, like that's why I personally can't do it that route. But this channel will always be free just from the long-term perspective, right? So I'm not gonna, because I've started noticing a lot more messages from people just saying, hey, Pingu, like, I feel like you're gonna start charging us soon or whatever because these trades shouldn't be free, yada, yada, yada. Guys, look, like, it's never gonna be paid. I'm just explaining to you guys, like, it's always gonna be a free channel. That's it. I don't care if there's 10,000 of you or if there's literally 100 of you. It's still gonna stay free. And I've stuck to my word. It's been 2 years now. I've never released anything. So, you know, that's just pretty much a setup from YouTuber standpoints. Just want to explain that to you guys. Like, you are welcome to go watch those YouTubers or pay for the programs or whatever. I'm sure there are some that are beneficial from the education standpoint. If it's worth 20 bucks, it's worth 20 bucks. But I just want to take my channel to a different level now where I want to start actually pushing a lot more content out. And again, like trying to grow the community. Because at one point we were doing extremely well. You guys remember, like our live streams were pushing like 80 to 100 people. Like we were killing it. And then I fell off for a few months, right? So the community's still there. It's just, it's like the consistency isn't there, and that's totally on me. So, yeah. So that's why I tell you guys, like, long term, I'm here. I'm not leaving. There might be times where, you know, I'll ask something for you guys, which is like liking the video or whatever. That's like the most I'll ask from you guys. But otherwise, like, I understand the kind of people that are in my channel, and I understand like long term where I want to take it. So yeah, it should be good. We'll see. Exactly. Yeah. Do I have a Discord? No. I only have a Telegram. I'll link it again for those of you that aren't in it. But yeah, it's literally this little channel right here. It's my little channel. Here you go. It's a free channel. Like I said, just my ideas, trades, life updates, whatever. It's absolutely free. All I can ask from you guys really long term is, you know, just like my videos. Because when you guys like my videos, I know it's sometimes a lot to ask because, you know, I'll post 2 videos a day and you're like, oh man, I gotta like this video twice. Guys, you liking the video pushes the algorithm and pushes more people to join the channel, and then it pushes the community larger. Like, that's the whole point, right? So when I ask you guys, if you guys see a video, just please like it. Because even if there's 15 of you in here, and like, that's your way of paying me, right? So you guys always say, let me donate to you, let me do this. No, just like my video. And that way, you know, I get paid in terms of people joining the channel, and then our community grows. Can you imagine when there's 10,000 of us, how fun it's going to be? Like, just imagine that, guys. There's 10,000 of us in that Telegram channel. You know how fun it's going to be for Liquidation Thursdays? Oh my God. It's going to be like 700 votes the wrong way. Oh, it's going to be crazy. But that's what I'm saying. That's the point I want to be at, where it's just a community of fun people, right? I know no one talks in there and whatever, because it's, you know, there's reasons towards that as well. But at least I continue doing the most for you guys. So I would appreciate if you guys can too. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. It's literally just a simple click. Like a simple click of a like. And you guys are going to watch the content anyways, because I know you guys want you guys want to trade. You guys want to know where the update is. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So that's the idea of Tengu. Like, that's the idea behind the channel itself and the reason why I do it, whatever. So you guys, you know, I just feel like some people are like, oh, it's impossible for this channel to be free. There has to be something. It's never. It's always going to be free. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So, but yeah, I know it was a long 47-minute live stream, but I hope you guys learned. You know, I went over so much in terms of trades and everything and kind of where I wanted to go with it. It was kind of random, I know, but I just wanted to explain to you guys at least the idea behind the trade setups and whatnot, so you guys have something for the weekend. And I promise I will make a Doge video tonight, probably in the next hour actually, because I'm probably going to head out later. So I'll make a Doge video for you guys, and then everyone should be on the same page for Doge. Because I know Doge is one of those coins where everyone likes to watch that video. You know, even the general public, Doge, everyone loves Doge. So I will make a Doge video. And then tomorrow, most likely, like I said, tomorrow, most likely, we will hopefully see that 20 EMA retest in the Asia hours. If we end up losing this wick low, though, right here at 21.49, it's going to get very ugly. So just keep that in mind as you guys trade. Bitcoin right now is hanging off by a thread as well. Not in a bullish confirmation. I do think we'll hit forward 52.50. So best case scenario, we see a quick little wick, and then we see that move set. Worst case scenario, we see a free fall later tonight or in the Asia hours. But yeah. Yes, Doge will be. I need to learn how to actually trade. Tubby cluster. Well, if you go through my live sessions, I think the best spot for you to learn. I know I have like a video course on YouTube as well, like 3 episodes, I think. But the best spot, all of you guys, if you guys are ever bored and you don't know what to do, just watch my live sessions. I explain everything in there. Tubby cluster. So I'm not sure which route you're going, but you know, you can go on JumpX in the Telegram, open an account, deposit money, and then you're pretty much set and ready to trade. Then it's just pretty much learning the setups and whatnot. But if you're struggling on the setup side, then watch these live sessions, like a lot of them. And, you know, it'll be good. I've kept my live sessions. I've never deleted a live session. So I wanted to do a watch party, like when we actually get to like 10,000 subscribers. Maybe we'll do like a watch party of like the first episodes or the first 2 live streams. Because I think there was like 3 of us. And it was so fun to watch because it was just straight degenerate trading. So yeah, we'll do that later. But yeah. I hope that answers everyone's questions and stuff. I will talk to you guys later. It's been a 49-minute live session. And then if you guys need anything from me, you know where to reach me on Telegram. And I will make a Doge video. Yeah. So yeah, Tubby, just figure out the setups in. I would highly suggest you watching the videos and stuff. And if you have questions, just reach out to me. Okay. See you guys. Thanks for coming. Have a good day. Bye bye.